So everyone, welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus in on the 2013 Hockey Hall of Fame class. Hell of a class with Niedermayer, Scotty Niedermayer, not Rob, Chris Chelios and Brendan Shanahan going in for players, Fred Shero going in the builder category, and Geraldine Hardy in the women's category. She should be as a player. I think that's what they do. I'm not totally sure if the Hall of Fame has a men's and women's section. They really shouldn't. You should be inducted on the weight of your accomplishments in the game of hockey, regardless of your gender. But whatever. The Shero one I don't have a problem with. The Hardy one I don't have a problem with. The three players I don't have a problem with. Niedermayer obviously belonged in on the first ballot, as did Chelios. Shanahan's on the second ballot. Neither one's that, but none of the three I have any quarrels with. I mean, Chelios, one of the longest tenured players in the history of the NHL, the longevity personified. Niedermayer was probably the most elite defenseman outside Nick Lidstrom in the last 15 years in the NHL. Really, his skating ability was just second to none. Conn Smythe winner, won one Norris Trophy. I think he would have won more Norris Trophies if he was with Anaheim or a more up-tempo offensive team for a bigger portion of his career rather than with New Jersey, but is what it is. And Shan the man, one of only 4 players to have 50 goals and 200 penalty minutes in the same season, so no problem with any of those guys. Hall of Fame got it wrong again with Pat Burns, though. I mean, Shero should have been in before this year, but Pat Burns should have been inducted 3 years ago before he died. I think that's where I lost respect for the Hall of Fame process, because there's no transparency, there's no accountability on who gets in and who does and who votes for who. I think that the biggest shame this year the Hall of Fame was, when they didn't induct Pat Burns before he died. We can talk about Burns' accomplishments, now it's the end of time, but it's just, they owed him that. He was one of the best coaches of his era, I mean, I don't know how you rank coaches all the time, but anyone that wins 3 Jack Adams trophies and Stanley Cup and New Jersey Devils, I mean, he warranted. He's a Hall of Fame probably again next year, but I think part of why they put it off doing it is because they're embarrassed for how they mishandled the situation in 2010, and they kind of want to distance themselves from it. But I just think running away from the problem, makes the cover-up's always worse than the crime. And I know you're really not covering up a crime here, but he should have been in 3 years ago, and they just refuse. They want to have some time, I assume, like a buffer zone in between, where they screwed up and when he gets inducted. But the questions will always linger there. I mean, people have a long enough memory to say, we remember when you screwed up, and instead of taking accountability and doing the right thing and inducting him, even though he's not around to see his Hall of Fame induction, they're not doing that, and that's wrong. And I don't have a problem with this Hall of Fame class. I know I tweeted I want to see Theo Fleury and Jeremy Roenick get in, but part of it's being a masshole with JR, and the other part is Theo Fleury, one of my favorite players of all time. But that's more the masshole and Theo Fleury fan of me speaking. But the Pat Burns thing is a travesty. It absolutely is. The Hall of Fame voters should be ashamed of themselves. That A, he wasn't put in before he died, and B, that they keep running from the problem when the questions are going to linger and there's going to be more. The weight of the criticism is going to be even heavier. If they induct him in 2014, 2015. So anyway, bottom line, no problem with the inductees. Just the Pat Burns scenario the Pat Burns fiasco is still lingering, and it's not fair to the memory of Pat or his family. So anyway, that's on this episode of the Power Play with CJ on the 2013 Hall of Fame inductees. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.